Alright, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We are here once again, this time episode 15 of our NHL 24 Winnipeg Jets franchise mode. We are here in year number 4, and if you guys missed out on the last one, we simmed 41 games in the last episode, going a record of 22, 15, and 4, which is good enough for the second wildcard spot in our division. We are fighting here in the Central with a wildcard spot with Dallas here, but the thing is, we are 13th in the entire NHL, so we have a very, very strong division. Only 3 points basically separates these like top 4 teams or other than Colorado, these top 4 teams in the division. So it's a very tight division. Going and just briefly over the individual stats, we're seeing production from our top guys. Actually, our second line mostly of Scheifele and Ehlers. We are trying out Kyle Connor with Perfetti on that first line, and they're not getting that many points, so I might have to try to switch that up a little bit. But Josh Morrissey still doing his thing. Evgeny Malkin, who we picked up in free agency, is doing well on that like third line, and Zach Werenski is doing well as well. Brock Besser on the second line is a plus 15, so that second line is really coming together with those pluses. So I am very happy with how the team is performing overall. But going into the comments of last episode, because we always check the comments and try to do all the suggestions that you guys tell us. So we have a comment here from Alexander who says, "Great episode, cannot wait for the playoffs." Me either, my friend. He then says that it looks like the team is missing a forward, a defender, and a goalie to compete for the cup. So he says, go for it. This might be the Jets' last chance as a legit contender. He gives 3 potential suggestions that we can do. So the first being Joel Eriksson at $2.6 million, 50% retained for a prospect and a second round pick. The second suggestion being shipping out Michael Matheson and a first round pick and a prospect for Seth Jones at $6 million, so 35% retained on him. And then the third being Laurent Brossoit and a pick for Jet Greaves. And then he gives a potential lineup that it would look like. Now, here is the thing, my friends. If we go into contracts, unfortunately, I think I've put this team in a really tight place cap-wise. So we have $0.115 million of cap space, okay? Going into next season, though, we have 3.7 mil. So we do not have cap space at all here with this team, okay? But we do have our team signed on for another year, basically. What that means is, in order for me to make a trade, I literally I'm being the utmost serious right now. I literally have to go a player for a player, like salary for exact salary within $100,000, right? So if we want to trade, like if we wanted to pick up a guy like Joel Eriksson and he is on the Minnesota Wild, I think. So let's go to Minnesota and let's just do this first one with you guys straight up here. So let's go to Minnesota here. Joel Eriksson is on their block. He's got a high trade value. He's $5.25 million, okay? So what that means is I have to ship them at bare minimum $5.15 million. So who fits that bill? 5.15 mil is, let's see, so anybody up here, obviously. So we can go with Matheson, Malkin, Perfetti, or Brodin. Now, if we want to retain half his salary, we could go with Gabriel Vilardi. So we would have to ship out Vilardi at $3 million and then get them to retain, let's see, does this work? No, this does not work, even though it tells me it does in the thing here. 40, okay, we can do about this much. Let's see, can we go lower? So I'm just going to try to work the system here and try to get as little salary retention as possible in order for this to go through. Okay, so that wouldn't go through, but 1 up will? No, 2 up. Okay. So we can get him with this salary retention for Gabriel Vilardi. That puts us right up against the cap hit, okay? But we would still obviously have to add things to the deal. And also, I don't really want to trade a guy like Gabriel Vilardi. So let's say we give them Montreal's 3rd round pick next year. That's not going to go through probably. Who else are they interested in? Let's see. They're only interested in Zach Werenski, so that's not great. Rookie skaters. We can do Melvin Barker, we can send them, Dahl, Brad Lambert, like all these guys, these low elite guys who may not grow. Like this guy here, Hines. But is this going to go through? Probably not. And even if it did, Gabriel Vilardi is a great player for us, you know? He's a guy who in the playoffs has really proved his worth. This year, 23 points minus 11 is not great. And after that, but these first 2 years were great. 51 points, 31 points here, plus 15, plus 17. And then he kind of fell off a little bit. But This year, I'm going to get maybe 40-something points, minus 11. I mean, it's not a fantastic for sure. But he's got 6 power play points at least. He helps that power play out. Face-off percentage is okay. He plays 14 minutes a night. I mean, he's not our best player for sure, and this deal wouldn't be bad. Playoff stats, he's good in the playoffs. Last year, or 2 years ago, he was really good. 19 points in 19 games. 10 points plus 2 last year. He's a good contributor for us, but he is a minus player this year. So this is a deal that I would be okay with doing. It just wouldn't exactly be, at the top of my list. Now, Joel Eriksson Ek, so obviously a very good player for them. A better player than Velarde is for us, probably. 50 points, 60 points, 60 points, and this year he's on pace for just about 60 points as well. He's a plus 24 this year, but he's also probably playing on their first line. Yeah, he's playing on their first line with us. He's not going to be playing first line time. He's going to be playing third line time or second line time. Maybe he'll play first line time if we switch up the lines, but it's not guaranteed whatsoever. Now, I do think that this trade would be something that I'd be interested in, so why don't we see what they'll say to it? But keep in mind, if we do offer this trade, that means that Seth Jones at $9 million, or if we want to get him at $6 million, we're going to have to ship out somebody who's worth basically exactly $6 million on our team. So who could that be? Let me just go up to all skaters. $6 million. We could do Jonas Brodin for Seth Jones, but I like Jonas Brodin, and he has a cheaper contract. We could do Cole Perfetti, but we're obviously keeping him, or we could do Evgeny Malkin. So we're in a very tight spot. Maybe Michael Matheson would be able to go through, but I don't think that would be enough. So I can definitely try this out, but I'm not really willing to offer more than this. If I just look at, if I look at the suggestion here, Joel Eriksson Ek for a prospect, a second, and a pick. So basically we have a prospect, we have the third round pick, and then we have Gabriel Velarde for that roster spot. So we have to ship out Velarde for this. It's going to add another $3.2 million. So it's going to add another $200,000 to our contract next year. I'm not worried about that so much, but okay, I'm willing to try this out. Let's see what they say. What do you say, Minnesota? Are you okay with this deal? They reject it. The value of where you had is not up to snuff at all. Okay, so if we trade this for a second round pick, then maybe this will work. But again, like, we have 3/3 as well, so a second round pick I'm not worried with parting. So let's see what they say. For a second round pick this year, will this work? Rejected, not up to snuff at all, and doesn't meet the block well. Yeah, Joel Eriksson Ek is tough because they don't want anybody in return. What if we do a bit of a better rookie here? Instead of that low elite Hines, Justin Sordif, a guy in our AHL system, two-way forward, 24 years of age. He's got a bit better value, but I don't know. This guy, Mats Dahl, obviously we drafted in the first round last year. Last year. So he's already up to 71, so that's good. We don't want to trade him. Lambert, we're not trading. Ekman Larson, I mean, he has less value, so that's not going to add anything to their roster anyway. So, man, this is tough. I don't know who to give them, because at the end of the day, we might just not have the value for it. We can maybe go with Melvin Barker, but at 19 years old, 76 overall, he's going to be playing on our AHL team next year to hopefully get some growth, and we need that growth from a guy like that. So I wanted to put him in there. This might go through, but I don't think I want to give them this kind of value. Melvin Barker is going to be a good player for us. He's going to be a top 6 player, hopefully, in the next 4 or 5 years. Joel Eriksson Ek is 34, something like that. No, he's only 29, actually. Okay, so he's actually pretty young. But Melvin Barker and Gabriel Velarde, I just don't want to do that. So I don't know if we can get this done. I will take a look at the Seth Jones trade, though, and obviously I will come back to these trades if they make sense a little bit later on in the video as well. We're only at the 41 game mark, right? So if we start to play really well and I need to add something, we can always look at that as well. So, but for right now, I think we might have to ride the ship out as it is. But Seth Jones just has crazy value. Okay, so we have to... Let's put him down to, what did Alex say here? It's 35% retained, so about $6 million. Okay. I'd be down to do that, and then we'll see. Or he would be making about $6 million per year, I think, is the thing here. So 36 years, so he's making he's going to make 3.5. Hang on. Like that, right? All right, so that way he can only make... He's only going to be making $6 million. So now we have to ship out $6 million, right? That's the thing. So let's see. Obviously not Kyle Connor, not Zach Werenski, although Zach Werenski, I'd actually be down for Zach Werenski, but he's probably got too much value. Definitely not Josh Morrissey. not Jonas Brodin, because we want to make a cup run. We can't subtract from this team if we want to make a cup run, right? Not Cole Perfetti. The only guy in here, maybe Michael Matheson, right? But then now we're still over the salary cap. So let me do this a few more times. Okay, so then we would be under. What about one less? What about one? No, okay. So this is a sweet spot. 3.55 mil they retain. Okay, now we need to get this trade value in our favor because this is crazy. So first round pick. What do they say? Let's just throw it out there. What do they say to this? First round pick and Michael Matheson for Seth Jones. Not very interesting. Doesn't make our block needs well. Value isn't there whatsoever. Okay, so that means, what about a first and a third? A first and a third for Seth Jones but he's got 4 more years left at 6 mil. Like, he's a big project. He's going to stay here till he's 36. Oof. And that's a tough contract. He does fit all the power play lines, all the penalty kill lines, and all the defensive pairing line too. He's a really good defender. He's 88 overall, right? He's a good player, but man, I just don't know if I can commit to 4 years at 6 mil when he's already 32 years old. But let's see. A first and a third and Matheson for Seth Jones at $6 million. Rejected and isn't there whatsoever. Yeah, this is skaters matching the block. Let's see. What do they have here? Chaz Lucius isn't going anywhere. Melvin Barker. Could do Melvin Barker. Brock Besser's not going anywhere. Malkin isn't. Kuzmin and let's see if Kuzmin and Salmonson put it over the top. No, they would have too many people in there. Okay, so let's just do Kuzmin then and see what they say to this. Still rejected, yeah. So the value is very, very rough, and I don't know if we're going to be able to get it through. So that being said, I know that was a long one just to basically say we don't really have salary cap to make these kind of moves, but I will say we will go with Jet Greaves, and I will take a look at them in a deeper way, closer to the trade deadline. That way we can that way I can hopefully bring them to you guys, and we can hopefully make a change here that Alex suggested, because I do want to honor that as much as I possibly can, right? So let's just see if this goes through. Laurent Brossoit for Jet Greaves straight up. What do they say to this? And they rejected. Okay, value is not where you need to be sending us, so maybe just like a 7th round pick or something like that would make it go through. A 6th even. Let's do a 7th next year if we have one. Yeah, let's go 7th next year for Jet Greaves. What do you say to this? You're going to be cheering in the streets, huh? Okay. Can I? No, I don't know. Well, I won't cheese it more than I have to. Actually, let's see if they have. You got to try to get every little inch of value you can out of this. Corey Perry. We could bring Corey Perry back for 1 year, but we don't have the salary cap for that. So, yeah, I was looking for like a rookie skater who's, you know, like on the cusp of maybe making the NHL, but is still on a very, like, still doesn't cost a lot and not, you know, like just trying to really edge them out here, value-wise. So Tulio, let's see. Any like high draft picks, 5th round, 3rd round, 4th round, 5th round, 2nd round, Luca here in the 2nd round, eh? Interesting. All right, let's go with this guy, Luca Del Bellus, and see if they'll take this trade. If not, no, they won't. Okay, so then, never mind. I just did all that for nothing. Let's go. We're going to bring Jet Greaves onto the roster at the very least. It's an absolute no-brainer for us here. We put in a random prospect. We scoff at your proposal. Who do you think you take us for? But I throw in a 7th, and all is right in the world, right? All right. Fair enough, Columbus. You want your 7th round pick? You can have it. And that means for goaltending, we are going to throw in Jet Greaves in there. And now finally we can get some simulations started. Don't worry, I've not forgotten about Seth Jones or Joel Eriksson Ek, or maybe even somebody in the middle there who is kind of like them, but not quite, you know, somebody with less salary cap that we can make a move for. I've not forgotten about them. I just don't know how I'm going to make it work right now. All right, but here we go, our first game of the video. So we're going to go in and slow sim it and see what the Nashville Predators have for us, excuse me. So let's do this. First period underway. That's a 2-2 game. Daniel Sprong scores. Jeff Carter ties it up. Callan, or is that Colin, gets a power play goal, and then Kyle Connor ties us up at 2s. Okay, good so far. Second period. Let's go, boys. Let's try to get some goals on UC Soros. Second period remains 2-2. Shots are 32-19 in favor of Nashville. We desperately need a good third period here, so let's try to get one. But Philip Tomasino gonna slot one past Connor Hellebuyck there, but then we get a shorthanded goal from Michael Matheson. He's hurt himself in some trade rumors, and he wants to shut that out for his benefit there. Philip Forsberg unfortunately gets a fourth on Connor Hellebuyck. You do not see that too often where Hellebuyck allows 4 goals, but in this game he does, and we cannot tie it up, and we lose that one 4-3. A high scoring affair between two fairly defensive teams. Jeff Carter has been impressing me though, actually, when we jump into the sim, so I'm liking that. I just have to go do the scouting, but I'll be right back with you guys. Okay, scouting done. That took probably like 5 or 6 minutes off my life, but that's okay. And we actually faced the Minnesota Wild here, so why don't we go in and see the second game that we play them to maybe, this is a big game. This is actually a very big game. They are a divisional rival, obviously. Chaz Lucius is fully back now. Let me get him into the lineup as well. You're going to play Chaz Lucius on the third line for a little bit here just to test out Brock Besser on the first. He's got 27 points in 43 games. Let's remember that. And Chaz Lucius has 17 in 40. So let's just remember those lines. I'll also do the power play and get Chaz Lucius on there as well. So let me do that real quick. Okay, so that stuff is taken care of, and we beat the Minnesota Wild in our first game against them, but we have a back-to-back here, so this is a huge game. So if we win this one, I mean, we are one step closer to being, very close to them. This is like an 8-point swing here because they don't get 2 points and we get 2 points on this night. We could do it again, or we could just go even with them, but either way, let's try to get a win here, boys. On home ice, let's go simulation time. First period, that's a 2-1 lead for us right now. Brad Lambert scores on that third line, Brock Besser on the first line. So those two lines that I'm looking at most right now are getting goals for us. And Jet Greaves allows a goal against Kirill Kaprizov. This is our first time seeing Mr. Greaves here in our nets. Let's see if he can hold it down for us. Second period now. They tie it up 2-2. Kaprizov gets his second on Greaves. And once again, we're being outshot a ridiculous amount. But Evgeny Malkin going to score on that power play. Now we get another opportunity here on the power play. That goes nowhere. Okay, Jet Greaves, it's now time. You got to try to shut the door, bro. I know this is a tough ask against the Minnesota Wild team that has a great offense with Matthew Boldy, Joel Eriksson Ek we are seeing, who, our scouts are in the building for this one. Let me tell you that. And luckily, Jet Greaves is able to hold the fort down, and Zach Werenski gets the go-ahead. Or not the go-ahead. Malkin gets the game-winning goal. Werenski gets that empty netter, and Jet Greaves is honored with the first star in his first start with the Winnipeg Jets. That's big for the kid there. Now let's just keep simulating, but Ville Heinola has been injured with a hernia. I'll just replace him. I'll see who gets in there, but I'll just head coach replace that player for now. And Declan Chisholm gets in there instead of Ville Heinola, which makes sense because he's right-handed as well. So the defense is looking strong so far. Plus 18, plus 15, plus 3, plus 4, plus 2, and a 0. So all the defensive pairings are doing their thing out there. Jet Greaves had his one game with us, and he went crazy. And Connor Hellebuyck is also playing very well this season. So I'm liking the looks of that for now. Let's go back to the calendar simulation and get a few games simulated here. Obviously, going to stop before the trade deadline to try to get a look at some trades that we might be making here. Who's a good team we can go and see? The Montreal Canadiens are good. I want to go see an Eastern team, Montreal or Carolina. Let's go see Montreal. Yeah, let's see Montreal. Why not? We have no massive games here, it looks like, before the deadline. Kniazev has also been injured with a sore hip until February 8th. Yikes. Okay, so that means we're going to have to call somebody up from the AHL now. Well, this is insane because the NHL 24 does not take into account like salary cap dumps and LTIR and things like that. We actually cannot bring anybody up. So we're going to have to play a forward in the defensive role because of EA's broken systems and the fact that if somebody gets hurt, their salary still counts towards the cap in this game. That's wild. Okay. So who is going to play defense for us? I guess it'll be Fortier because I can't have a -5. So Gabriel Fortier will play for us. He's a two-way forward who's going to be playing defense. Fantastic. I love to see that. Okay. So these next couple games might be tough, but it's not a too long term of an injury, so hopefully we can come back. But that's 2 wins in a row. Whoa, this is a lot of wins in a row here. And maybe I won't change the lines. Fabian Wagner's been injured down there. Maybe I won't change up the lines right now. Kniazev is back, but we're on a winning streak. So let's stop the sim. The first game that we lose, I'll do the lines, but for right now, I'm not going to... Hang on, let me do Fabian Wagner. You guys know the saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, though. And there we do lose to the Detroit Red Wings, who are a very good team. We lose 6-3 to them. Do I go one more game, or do I just say, we should really put our defender back there? And that's crazy. Even after all those wins, we won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wins in a row, and we're still tied in the wild card spot. The Stars somehow are ahead of us, despite the fact that they were like, I don't get this, man. We went on a 6-game winning streak and we're still not even a divisional playoff spot. We have a crazy division out here. So the LA Kings, I'm gonna sim one more game, and if we get the win, so both of our defense are now back. We do get the win. Okay, so let's keep simming. I mean, this is a great stretch right now. Our team is firing on all cylinders. Okay, but after that loss, I will now change these lines real quick. All right, so these two guys on our bottom defensive pairing here, they both went -1 in those games, so I will definitely put Heinola and Kniazev back in the lineup as they were both pluses, so I like that much better than what we had before. So let's get back to the simulation now, and let's go down to this. Maybe we can see the Carolina Hurricane game, actually. We can go in and watch it, I suppose. Yeah, let's go watch the Carolina Hurricane game. We are 29-17-5, so a very respectable record. Carolina is 30-22-1. So two teams in very similar places for right now. Let's try to get a win here. This is not too important of a game as it is an Eastern Conference team, but nonetheless, still important to try to get 2 points on the board each and every night. And we start up 2-0. Brock Besser scores twice on Pyotr Kochetkov. Very nicely done. Second period now, it's 3-2. Okay, so they tie it up with a goal from Svechnikov and Kotkaniemi, but then Brad Lambert gives us the 1-goal lead. Going into that third period, let's see if we can hold on to this one. It's a power play for the Carolina Hurricanes. We end up killing that off, though. It's a big time. Kill another power play, though. Who is taking these penalties, you idiots? Come on. There we go. Goal from Zach Werenski. That's beautiful. And then Kyle Connor also gets on the board, and the Winnipeg Jets are up 5-2 in this one now, and we end up stomping out the Carolina Hurricanes despite being outshot by about 15 or so here, maybe at the end. Yeah, 15, outshot by 15. We win that one 5-3. Jameson Reese scores with like 30 seconds left on Hellebuck, but the game is in our favor there. So that is something that I do enjoy seeing very much. Okay, we are 30-17-5, and we finally have a divisional playoff spot, so that's nice. I will go see maybe one more game before the trade deadline. Who could it be? Florida. Florida's a really good team. Florida might be the best team in the league. No, the Colorado Avalanche are the best team in the league, but Florida's the second best team, so let's go see them, see if we can maybe do something to them. That's 2 wins in a row now. That's beautiful. Why would I trade a second for a third and a fifth? That's 3 wins in a row, 4 wins in a row now, and we are rolling. That's 5 in a row, and then Josh Morrissey gets injured until March 6th. Oh, man, that's tough. That is extremely tragic news. So obviously Jonas Brodin will go up there. I guess Heinola will go to that second line, and then Declan Chisholm will come in on that third line. I also have to do all the power play stuff now, so bear with me for a second here, boys. Okay, all the lines are done. I just gotta stop the sim here. Okay, all the lines are done. We are on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-game winning streak here going into our game against Florida. And perhaps, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, perhaps Morrissey might be okay for this one. No, he's not. Salmonson got injured down there. I'll just replace him. Morrissey is not quite back for this one yet, but we are 36-17-5. So after those changes, I think the biggest change that we did, that we had to the team was basically the second or the first and third line swap that I did. Let's take a look at what these guys have done. I think Besser was on like 27 points or something like that. Now he has 39 points, so he's definitely got a few points there. Chaz Lucius has 25 points. I believe he had 11 or no, he had 17 points, I think. He now has 25. So Chaz Lucius still not playing fantastic, I won't lie. But he's averaging 18 minutes per night because of his time spent on the first line. So hopefully we can help that out a little bit more. That first line's going crazy. He's plus 25, plus 6, plus 12. Second line plus 15, plus 23, minus 12 for Malkin. But remember, he spent a lot of time on that third line that was minus. So let's see. Brett Lambert minus 3, Chaz Lucius plus 10, Gabe Velarde minus 3 as well. And then even the fourth line is playing very well. Rasmus Kupari has 25 points, Jeff Carter has 23 points, and Logan Hutsko has 15 points. This is a great fourth line, maybe the best fourth line in the NHL, and it delights me to say that. Brodin is here, Werenski, like everybody is playing very well for us right now, and I'm absolutely loving it. And maybe the all-stars of our team so far, Connor Hellebuyck, 920 save percentage. His stats have gone up, I think. 920 save percentage, 2.57 goals against average. That's legendary stuff. And Jet Greaves, I mean, Alex, this is a beautiful play from you, my friend. 931 save percentage, 2.40 goals against average, when Laurent Brossoit was giving us nothing. So a huge improvement to the team so far, just with those few line changes for the most part, and that bringing in that goalie. So I love to see that, absolutely. I'm still going to try to make a move at the trade deadline. I'm not sure what it's going to be yet, but I don't think we can bring in somebody massive like that we were considering, but I will definitely do my best to satiate the desires of anybody who's watching this who wants to see a move happen. I just don't know if it's our year to do a massive move just because we don't have the cap space for it, but I definitely will give it a try either way. Second period now, 1-0 for us. Kyle Connor going to score on Guzda. I like to see that. Going into the third period, we are up by 1. I assume Connor Hellebuyck is between the pipes. This is very similar to that Carolina-Florida game that recently happened here. A 1-0 win for Carolina in that one in the real world, if you know about that. There's 2-0 now as Nikolai Ehlers scores. 3-0 as Ehlers gets his second within, 15 seconds of each other? 16 seconds of each other. He scores another one. Wait, yeah, was that 16 seconds? I think it was. 3-0 win for us. Connor Hellebuyck probably gets the shutout here. 36 saves, and he is rolling big time. That is lovely stuff. Ben Villahinola has been injured once again. Nice. So we just replace him. Might as well, because we don't have another defender anyways. And let's go simulate up to this day here. We are just at the trade deadline now. Morrissey is fully back, so I can finally edit these lines, and I'm absolutely loving how we are performing recently. I will not lie. All right, so we might as well simulate this one as well here. A big game up against the Minnesota Wild, as they are in our division. We are 7 points ahead of them for now, but definitely do not get complacent here, boys. Let's go through this last one, and then I will take a look at all the trade blocks and try to find something, maybe a diamond in the rough that we can pick up, somebody who might perform very well on our team, hopefully. But here we go. First period, it finishes 3-1 for us as our special teams go to work. Tarasenko gets the first one, as we saw, but then Connor on the power play, Carter on shorthanded, and Velarde shorthanded. That is a huge penalty kill time for us. That's massive, and their coach is not going to be happy with that one. Second period now. Okay, they tie it up 3-3, and as soon as our penalty kill goes to work, their power play decides to as well. And how many penalties have we taken this game then? We've taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 penalties. Each team has taken 5 penalties. That is absolutely absurd. So game tied at 3. I would like to jump into this one if we can. So let's start this third period off here strong, hopefully. And we do. Nikolai Ehlers scores one for us. That's nice. Jesper Wallstedt, a bit of a Swiss cheese here, but so was Connor Hellebuyck in this one so far. Halfway through the third period now. It's been a bit quiet here recently, but the shots are heavily in our favor, and Brad Lambert puts another one in on the power play. We don't see that too often from the kid, but he gets there sometimes. Let's go jump into the last minute and just see the boys celebrate live. Why not? And here we are, Canada Life Center. Winnipeg versus Minnesota, a rivalry for the ages. We've seen them quite a few times in this episode, I know that, but either way, we are back here and up 5-3 in this one. We got a power play, so send the top unit out there. Try to pad our stats a little bit here as Connor Hellebuyck sits atop the throne of wins for all goaltenders in the league alongside of Spencer Knight. Interesting. There's Joel Eriksson-Ek. We can now see him live and see if he can do anything on this penalty kill for his team. Obviously, will not be playing as hard as possible because he's already down 5-3 with a minute left, but still a good chance to see what he's made of here. Here's Nikolai Ehlers in the slot shot, saved though by Jesper Wallstedt. Here is the man of the hour, Joel Eriksson-Ek now. They're going to pull their goalie, Eriksson-Ek, over to McLeod, and Hellebuyck will hang on to that one. And why not send the second power play unit out there? This is an important face-off, and we trust Malkin to take it so far. He loses that one to Yanni Gourde, though. Now Fowler's shot, saved by Hellebuyck. Rebound, hang on a second, saved again by Hellebuyck. And now our defender, Zach Werenski, going to try to get this puck out. He was acquired in a trade from Columbus last year, so we tried to make a deadline move, and he puts that one in the empty net. He's making about $9.5 million, so thankfully he can hit an empty net for us. And We're gonna take this game 6-3 probably. Here's Tarasenko. Tarasenko over to Rossi. Shot. Saved, though, by Hellebuck. Johnson to Rossi. Again, Rossi's going to score on that one. Hellebuck was running out of energy, and now this game is 6-4 as Rossi celebrates alongside of his teammates. Rossi has 35 points so far. Not a crazy season from the kid, but he's still young and growing. Obviously, a former Ottawa 67, so that's nice. Here is Brodin now. Brodin just going to play this one back, just try to run the clock out. Hopefully, he doesn't give the puck to the other team like they so often do. Nikolai Ehlers to Evgeny Malkin. Mark Scheifele now. We're just gonna allow time to wind down on this one as there's 6 seconds left, and that puck falls into the zone. We're gonna take a nice victory and extend our winning streak. Wait, why is Ehlers number 25? Isn't he normally number 27? That was weird, right? But Winnipeg takes that one in a 6-4 victory for us. I want to check that out real quick, though. And while I'm there, I actually did remember about something that I forgot about last episode. And I told myself I was going to remember for this one. I wanted to do it at the start of the episode, but we have to go to captains and jerseys, my friends. Because, where's Nikolai Ehlers, first of all? Hang on. Ehlers, no, he is 27. Okay, I thought I saw 29 for some reason. But we have 3 alternates right now. We have Mark Scheifele, we have Kyle Connor, and we have Josh Morrissey. You might be saying, what about Adam Lowry? What happened to him? I thought he was our captain. He was. And we had to trade him to sign on Ville Heinola, basically. So with that, we are captainless. And you know what? I might actually wait for this until we go into the playoffs. We'll go into the Yeah, I think I will. We'll go into the playoffs with a new captain. Who will it be? Will it be Kyle Connor? Will it be Mark Scheifele? Or will it be Josh Morris? If you're paying attention to the comments, you probably already know who it is. But we're going to save the occasion for the playoffs. I think that's a little bit fun. So right now I'm going to browse through the trade blocks, see what I can find, see if there's any moves that I can make that might help us out for the future. I'll see you guys in a second. Okay, guys, I found a trade, and before I do that, I just want to address the other opinions or the other suggestions that Alex made, and usually I follow them to a T. You guys know this if you watch the entire series and the Ottawa series from last year. I usually follow all the suggestions you guys make, basically right down to the letter, but in this one, I just can't make the salary work no matter what I do and make it a fair trade for both teams. So here's what I'm going to do. First of all, Chicago, they do not have Seth Jones on the block anymore. And even if they did, 9.5 mil is just too much. And also going over to Minnesota. Also, Minnesota is a very winning team, so it wouldn't have made sense for them to want to trade a 29-year-old, 85 or 30-year-old now, 85 overall guy who's on a good contract for another couple of years. So that wouldn't have really made that much sense anyway. But again, he's not on the block either. So once the AI kind of realizes what kind of team they have, they do adjust their salary or their players on the block accordingly. But I did found a trade that made sense for both teams, I think, here. So we have in LA, they have Claude Giroux on the block. Now, you might be saying, okay, but you just talked about salary for like 30 minutes. You bored me to death about talking about salary. Yes, but we can retain 50% of Claude Giroux's salary for LA and give them Declan Chisholm, a defenseman who is playing with us right now. Sure, but he's our 7th defenseman. Now, I know that means that now we don't have a 7th defenseman, really, so maybe considering that, let me try to trade them instead. Who's that forward we have? Fortier, I think? So let me try to do that instead and see if this will go through. But if not, I'm not going to be afraid to trade out. I see, but now we're over the max salary. Yeah, so he's the only one that makes sense that can do it, is Declan Chisholm. So let me get him in there because he makes 1.025 mil. So Declan Chisholm and a 3rd-round pick, Detroit's 3rd-round pick for Claude Giroux. Claude in LA's not doing well, but he's in LA, so I don't blame him for that. He's a playmaker, and when he was with Ottawa, he had, 50 points in his last season? That's pretty good, 70, 83, and so those are pretty good numbers, actually, overall. Obviously, he hasn't played on a pretty good team in a while, so let's try to get him his cup that he wants. What do you say, LA? What do you say to this? Actually, let me do a 4th, or maybe a 5th even, and see if that'll go through instead. Because a 3rd, it looked like the value was pretty heavily in our favor. So let me do a 5th and see what they say to this. A 5th for Claude Giroux. Oh my gosh, they would do this. Okay, what about a 6th or 7th maybe? Would you do a 6th instead? And they would do a 6th. Wow. So why would we have to? We would have to call up a Kuzman and send down Jeff Carter. I don't know why we would have to do that. And Jeff Carter's waiver eligible. Why would we have to do that? We're just trading a roster spot for another roster spot. Why do we have to call up Kuzman? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, man. What the heck is going on here? Okay, let me try to figure this out. Okay, guys, so another new game, another new glitch, and what I saw there, I thought that we would have to send down Jeff Carter, but we actually didn't, so I just did the trade. I made a couple of save files just to make sure. I would never make save files and go back to them if we, like, lost in the playoffs or something like that, as you guys saw with our, like, 4 years in a row playoff exits, right? So, but either way, I did want to go make a couple save files just so that I wouldn't get absolutely cheesed if this happened, but it looks like we are safe from that happening at the very least, so that was good. We're going to put Claude Giroux in the center here for sure. I might want to throw him on the third line, and all I did was I made the exact same trade that you guys saw. It was Declan Chisholm and a 6th round pick for Claude Giroux at 50% retained, so he's making $1.520 million just for this year. I might want to throw him on the third line. Just don't know who I would get off. Gabriel Velarde, but he's playing well right now. The third line's doing all right. I definitely don't have any problems with them up there. And the first line's also doing good. Maybe Malkin for Giroux, something like that. But for right now, we're going to leave him there. Next thing I want to do is, since we have Forte going to be playing defense now because we have an injury to our defenders, we have Ville Heinola injured, I want to trade either, I don't know who's making the most. You're making 900K, you're making 800K on a two-way deal. And how much is Forte making? Forte is making 800? Yeah, 800. So I'll trade Mark Kastelik for basically a depth defender, just a guy who's like 78 overall, just so that I can have a 7th defenseman out there. So let me just try to find somebody who's a defender who's basically making league minimum and see if there's anybody out there. It's got to have low trade value as well, just so that we can have our positions filled at the very least, you know? Okay, so I'm offering this deal to the New Jersey Devils. They're out east as well, so hopefully Mark Kastelik won't come back and bite me, but I'm going to offer them for Cale Fleury. Fleury has good numbers in the AHL this year. He has not played in the NHL, I don't think, in a while. Yeah, he hasn't played in the NHL since he played in the real world in Seattle there. So he's put up good numbers in the AHL. We're going to give him a chance here to be our 7th defenseman. Really nothing. I don't need anything special from him, just decent defense, you know, hover around an even plus minus. Mark Kastelik here, he only played 3 games with us so far, 6 minutes, time on ice per night. Just 2 depth guys. I mean, this should just easily go through here, and they're going to reject it. Of course they will. I'm going to have to give them more than what I gave up for Claude Giroux, aren't I? So let's give them a 6th next year, I suppose. Or 7th. You know what? I'm giving them a 7th in 2099 because this is crazy. This should go through easily. No-brainer. We're going to be dancing in the streets. Cale Fleury will be coming up to the NHL, and he can play some bottom pairing defensively for us. And I think that might have to do it for the trade deadline. I know you guys are yelling at me. Do something else, you know. But these guys, they weren't really like sellers. They were selling off their top players. Like Minnesota had almost their entire team on the trade block, and they're a good team. They're in a wild card spot right now. No, they're not. They're in a divisional spot, even better. So it really made no sense for them to want to sell off all these incredible players that they had. I know it's not the crazy trade deadline moves that we want and love, but we're a very good team. We're one of the best teams in the league. Where are we actually in the league? Just so that hopefully this point can come across okay. We're 2nd in our division. Obviously, Colorado's the best team in the league, but we're the 2nd best team in the league. I mean, we're a very, very strong team right now. We score 3.47 goals for per game. That's like 6th or so. That's around 6, right? 5th maybe in the league. We only allow 2.72 goals against. We're the best defensive team in the league. Our power play definitely is struggling a bit, but our power play always struggles. We're 8th in the power play right there at the very bottom. And then our penalty kill, where are we? We're kind of in the middle, it seems like, for penalty kill. Yeah, we're about in the middle here at 82.7%. So I'm not worried about this team whatsoever. Our last 10 were 9-0-1. Like, we don't have to make crazy changes here. So I know the moves, Alex, are not exactly what you wanted, but unfortunately, I just couldn't make the salary work, and that's the biggest thing with this team, is trying to keep our salary under control. So we're going to go through the trade deadline here, keep the current trade block, simulate through the deadline, and I will see what moves get made around the NHL and who gets picked up, who gets moved, all that stuff. So let's take a look real quick and see what happened here at the trade deadline. Let's go down to the very bottom where our picks will probably be. Yeah, our trades are right here. So obviously we pick up Claude Giroux, we pick up Cale Fleury. Now we get to the other team. So Seattle gets Nikita Zadorov. Okay, interesting. Washington picks up Matt Waugh. Buffalo picks up Jake Bean. Matt Grizzly goes to St. Louis. So just some depth guys moving around here. Christian Fisher to Montreal for a second. What the heck? Oh, they just swapped seconds. Okay. Um, this is weird. This is such a weird trade. Chicago gets a second round pick. They give a third, a fourth, and Cale Lynn. That's very strange. Bedrick Rakos goes to Montreal. Alexander Wenberg, there we go. That's a big one. Wenberg and Kailer Yamamoto both go to the New York Islanders in exchange for a first round selection. That's big. Here we have Tampa Bay gets Philip Zadina for a first and then second swap. So really nothing happened this trade deadline. Very, very weak trade deadline. But I'm okay with that. And now this team, let's hope that they can, well, they're probably definitely going to make the playoffs, but let's hope that we can make a good run in those playoffs. And let's start it off strong here with a game against Seattle. Seattle's not a very good team, so we're probably going to lose 9-0. There we go. Cole Perfetti scores, Shea Theodore scores, and Richie scores for Seattle. Of course, here comes the horrible play from our team for the rest of the season, right? Second period now, 4-3. Nice. But Claude Giroux in his debut game with us gets a goal, so he's not the reason that we are losing by any means. Third period now starts off and Claude Giroux gets his second of the night. Big goal from Claude Giroux. Third period is underway. 59 seconds into that period, Giroux puts us on the map as well. It's nice to see. But then, of course, Taylor Raddysh is going to score once again for his club and give them the lead. Can we get one more power play opportunity? Goes nowhere, of course. And with time winding down, we're going to lose that 1-5-4. So we went 9-0-1 before the trade deadline. Come on, boys. Let's try to keep pace here. I don't expect us to go 10-0 every 10 games, but I don't want us to fall too far behind, or I'll have to revert to the lines that I used before. So let's go about a week at a time here, I'd say. Maybe it's a lot of games, actually. We have some tough games, too. Let's go to this Columbus game and see what happens. Solomonson is really just best lines down there in the AHL. They play 3 games in a row. It's crazy. That's a 7-3 loss. Great. Travis Dermott is here. We probably can't even pick him up, right? Yeah, he's making too much money, so we'll just decline that. And then that's another loss. Oh my goodness. Don't you dare do this to me, game. Don't you dare do this to me. I swear to God. What changes did I make? Is a Claude Giroux on the fourth line really the reason that we're losing? Is he really? He's 2 goals and he's a 0. He's not the reason that we're losing. Don't do this to me. I swear to God. Cale Fleury, what have you done? You're +3. Cale Fleury's a +3. So what were my lines before? I'm literally going exactly back to the lines that they were before. Let's see. This is the same. This is the same. What did I have here? I had, who did I have? There was another center here instead, wasn't there? Or was it somebody on the wing, maybe? Who was here instead of Claude Giroux? Why can't I think of this? What the heck? Oh yeah, it was Hutsko. Okay, we're putting Hutsko back in the lineup. I'm putting Hutsko back in the lineup. Kupari's going to go, it's going to be exactly like this. These were the exact lines that we had. Cale Fleury's going to come out. We're going to put in, I know it's weird because Cale Fleury's a +4. There's no really reason to change him, but I'm going to go exactly back to the lines that got us those 9 wins in a row. These are the exact lines that we used, so hopefully we can get some work done here. Hellebuck going to be in the net. So let's stop the sim. Hang on, I'm trying to stop it. And okay, that's a 5-3 win. Let's keep the winning streak going now. I know Claude Giroux's on the bench, but I feel like it's just a chemistry thing. Look at this. It's just a chemistry thing, man. Without Giroux's just not quite. He's just got to get some more practice steps in here. Here we go. There's another. Yeah, see, there's something about these lines, man. 4-0 loss, but okay, that's fine. Where are we now? We are 91 points. We are firmly in a playoff position. We haven't clinched yet, but we're going to clinch here in the next couple of games. Let's go another week. Chicago, that's a big game. And it's a 5-1 win, and then it's a 4-1 loss, but then a 5-2 win against the St. Jose Sharks. And if we go 500 the rest of the way, I am fine with that. Should we go and see? I don't want to see LA as the last game, but they're the last game of the season. We could go see Dallas, the Dallas Stars. We haven't really seen them. Or we see the Blackhawks one more time. We could go see Connor Bedard and the Blackhawks. Why not? Yeah, let's go see Connor Bedard and the Blackhawks, and then we'll go see Dallas later on. No, we'll see Nashville because they're the last game, and they are a home game. So we'll see that. We'll go into Chicago and see what we can do here. Simulation. We have 45 wins on the season, by the way. That's nice to see. First period, 0-0. The two strong offenses going at it, and in the Blackhawks and the the Blackhawks and the Winnipeg Jets here. Obviously, we are seeing Seth Jones and Connor Bedard. So let's get this show on the road, boys. Second period, still 0-0. Wow, a defensive battle here between Connor Hellebuyck and what is likely, okay, well, Kuzmenko's going to score for them, but probably, who's their goalie? Why can't I think of his name? Peter Mrazek, of course. Auto 67 is the legend. Mark Scheifele ties us up at 1 there as I was getting rid of, or I was not thinking about things to say. I was running out of things to say, I should say. We're going to go see this one in overtime. Let's go jump in. Also, boys, I would just like to take a second and look at our overalls on this team. 95 offense, 96 defense, 86 goaltending. That is crazy stuff. Let's throw on some fun jerseys, actually. Let's see our reverse retro. Let's go with reverse retros. And for Chicago, they will also go with their reverse retro night. It's a reverse retro night here in Chicago. Let's see what these two teams can do. We are here at the United Center. Mark Scheifele lining up against Connor Bedard. These two teams do have bad blood from year number 1. What is going on? Oh my god, game. What was that? That was ridiculous. Josh Morrissey, one of the best defensemen in the league, just decides to run away from Seth Jones streaking down on a breakaway. That is crazy. But as I was saying, these two teams do have some bad blood as Kuzmenko comes in on a... yeah, this is a goal, huh? Oh my god, what a save from Connor Hellebuyck. Wow. I can't get my words out here. These two teams do have bad blood from the playoffs of year number 1, if you remember that. We lost in probably 6 or so to the Chicago Blackhawks. There's Josh Morrissey. That completely misses the net. Love to see that. Scheifele now. Morrissey. Scheifele shot. Misses the net once again. Now Morrissey over to Ehlers. Ehlers to Morrissey shots. Saved by Peter Mrazek, most likely. I don't actually know who it is. Now the boys are buzzing. Never mind, we lose that puck at the blue line. But luckily, the Chicago Blackhawks are moving in quicksand, so we are okay. Never mind, Seth Jones with that puck. He's going to try to make a move. Takes a shot, though, and Connor Hellebuyck will hang on to that one as we get our other lines out there. Defensive zone draw. We lose. That shot misses the net wildly, though, and we took a penalty. Great. I love when our team takes unwarranted penalties in overtime. That's my favorite thing to see. 2 block shots in a row, and we're going to go to the penalty kill as Chaz Lucius took a tripping penalty. Come on, Chaz. You got to have better poise than that, my friend. You got to have better poise than that. And the boys dump that puck out of the zone here. Here's Lucas Reichel. A one-timer blocked in front by Zach Werenski, and the Winnipeg Jets are putting their bodies on the line here with 1 minute to go on that power play. We've had a good kill so far. Let's try to keep that up. And Brodin goes. I'm going to get Werenski off. Brodin on a breakaway takes a shot. That is saved by, oh, there, I saw their name, Olivier Rodrigue, maybe, saved in front, or this block shot. Why are we seeing this? Did Zach Werenski get hurt? Doesn't look like it. And now the Blackhawks come the other way, but with only 10 seconds left on their power play, it looks like the Jets have gotten off with this one, maybe by, why did I say that? Toffoli takes a shot that's blocked in front by Bedard. Looked like now Toffoli shot, saved by Hellebuyck once again, and finally this penalty is over, but they still have possession of it. Here's Kuzmenko over to Korchinski. Korchinski walking in, takes a shot that's saved once again by Connor Hellebuyck, who's on a roll right now. And now here comes Jonas Brodin. He's got a man with him. Will he pass it over? Yes, he will. Kyle Connor gets that puck. With no time left, there's 5 seconds left on the clock. Take a shot on net, boys. Let's go. Brodin, shoot that puck. Shoot it, Kyle. Ah, saved by Rodrigue, and we are going to a shootout. Yippee! It is shootout time, and Kyle Connor going to start us off with a little backhander, saved by Rodrigue there. This is a goalie's favorite activity to do in practice. Just let your teammates line up and just take endless breakaways on you. We love to see it, right, Hellebuyck, as he makes that save on Andrei Kuzmenko. And now the next Winnipeg shooter going to be Cole Perfetti. Perfetti now. What is he going to do? What does he have in his bag of tricks? Takes a shot, but that is saved once again by Rodrigue. And in these first 2 rounds, the goalies have reigned supreme. I'm surprised Bedard is not taking a shot yet, but Toffoli coming down. He's going to go over to the backhand and roofs that one on Connor Hellebuyck. A beautiful, beautiful forehand, backhand, classic move, and Hellebuyck gets fooled by it. So now to keep us alive, it's Nikolai Ehlers. Will he keep us in this game? He goes for the Forsberg, but Rodrigue, he had been making saves all night, and he makes his last one there. A big-time save to give his team the win in a 2-1 shootout victory. And what is this? Zach Werenski has been injured with a strained hamstring until April 13th. The team's lines must be edited. You don't say. Zach Werenski falls. That is a brutal, brutal injury to have so late in the season, and it means that Brodin's going to have to go up. Ville Heinola is going to have to move up with Michael Matheson, and then the third line is going to be filled with Cale Fleury, I suppose, and then I'll have to also do the power play line, so give me a moment here. Okay, so those lines have been finished up, and April 12th, okay, it's not too far away at least. He'll be back before the end of the regular season, but still, that's a tough pill to swallow. Let's go a week at a time here. This one, another shootout loss, then a win to Toronto, so I like that. And Malkin has been injured until April 22nd. Oh, man, that's rough. Okay, but Claude Giroux can just fill his spot instantly. He'll fill all his positions. Claude Giroux can play up and down the lineup, so at least that's something. Let me put him in there right now. Yeah, Giroux's going to play there and just fill all of his positions, so that'll be okay. And then we lose to the Edmonton Oilers, which I don't like. We're starting to lose some games here, maybe because our full lineup is not in it. Zach Werenski is now fully back. Let me get him into the lineup for this game against the Arizona Coyotes. We have officially clinched the playoffs, though. That's beautiful. 101 points so far in the season, 47 wins. We have the chance to get 50. Getting 50 wins would be very nice if we could manage it. And we're playing... it's possible. We're playing two bad teams and two good teams here in the last four, so let's try to get to 50. And look at this. Cale Fleury has 3 points, and he's a +4 in 8 games. I might want to keep him in the lineup. Him and Kanias are actually doing well together, but at the end of the day, I do have to sub him out for Zach Werenski, who's miles better than him, right? So we're going to do that, but do not sleep on Cale Fleury. I might have to give him like a league, if he wants a league minimum extension for next year, I'd be willing to do that considering how well he's been playing in the depth role. So definitely keep your eyes peeled on that one. All right, all those lines are done here, so let's go to the sim and let's see if we can get some wins on the board here. I'll go to the calendar simulation because we've been simulating well from there so far. We're going to go one game at a time because we got to try to get to 50 here. So let's see. A game against Arizona, of course, we lose that one 6-1. We now have to run the board to get to 50 if we want to do that. 50 wins? No, we can't do it anymore. All right, fair enough. Way to end the party, boys. Way to put it. Oh my, these injuries, bro. I swear, I've literally done injuries for like 30 straight minutes. This has been crazy. I swear to God, just replace him. I don't care anymore. Yeah, we lose the last 4 games of the season, sure. 81 games in, we've clinched the playoffs. We've clinched our spot. This is just a formality at this point here. We're playing Nashville at home, last time in front of our home fans. Try to give them something to cheer about, boys. Here we go. First period, 0-0. Okay. Second period, 1-0 for Nashville. Love to see it. Philip Tomasino scoring. And for some reason, these Winnipeg Jets have decided not to play. Zach Werenski, thank you for finally scoring for us. But for some reason, we just don't want to play in these last, 10 games of the season. Just decided to throw in the towel, huh? Third period, about almost done. 5 minutes left in it. Power play, it's a big power play to get us the win. And of course, they score basically right after the power play expires. And we're going to lose the last 5 games straight of the season. Congratulations, boys. You guys are absolute failures. Congratulations. 3 stars of the night, Askarov, Forsberg, and Galvis. Cool. Okay, but either way, a sour note to end the season on for sure, losing 4 straight games and losing oh my gosh, this is bad. We lost 0-1, 0-1-1, 0-1-2, 1-1-2, 1-2-2, 2-1-2, 2-2-2, 2-3-2, 2-4-2, 2-5-2 on our last 9 games. That is horrible, but the season is over, so now it's time to take a look at what we did as a team, what we did individually, and all that jazz. So we end up finishing second in our division, going 47, 28, and 7, a very respectable record, with averaging 3.34 goals for per game and 2.94 goals against. So that goals against drastically went up in these last few games, but still, our power play also went up a little bit, 14.9%, penalty kill 81%, not bad whatsoever. Those are pretty baseline numbers. In the entire league, let's see, Colorado won the President's Trophy. And we, at one point, were the second best team in the league, ended up finishing at 6th. I'm not mad with that whatsoever. 6th place is definitely a respectable place to end out the year, considering we were 13th when this video started, so we definitely started playing better. Let's see, anybody, Dallas at number 19 gets into the playoffs. Wow, it's crazy. Any note, who's the worst teams in the league? We have the Arizona Coyotes as the worst, Seattle as second worst, LA, then Philadelphia and Ottawa. Interesting stuff there. Those are the bottom 5 teams in the league if you're interested. Going to our individual points now, we saw a huge drop off from the best players on our team. So 73 points from Nikolai Ehlers and 68 from Mark Scheifele. If you remember the start of the video, these guys were on pace for above point per game, both of them, I think. So that's a very disappointing second half to the season, but they are also like plus 28 and doing their thing. Kyle Connor with 68. I think that's above where he was supposed to go if we looked at the very start of the video, so I'll take that. Josh Morrissey with 62. That's a big season from Josh Morrissey. He's had a 70-point season with us before, but 62 points is very nice. The first year that we were here, he had 34 points, and then after that, 73, 64, 62. That's huge. So definitely like to see that. Evgeny Malkin with 56, picked him up in free agency. 56 points, 77 games played, -6. He's also kind of injured, but I will take 56 points for sure. Cole Perfetti, 55, a bit of a fall back from Cole Perfetti. After his last 2 seasons, he's had 63, 65. 55 points is his second worst season of all time. So I'm not sure if I like that too much, Cole, but actually his third worst season of all time. I'm not sure if I like that, Cole, but you got first line time too. You're getting first line time, and you do that with it. You're playing alongside of our top goal scorers. Kyle Connor scored 37 points, and you only get 55 points. I'm not sure how I like that. Zach Werenski now 54 points. That's good. Brock Besser 53 for somebody making 4.7 mil. I will take that. Gabriel Velarde with 41. Chaz Lucius with 37. Chaz, this is a step up or a step down from last season? This is a step down from last season. Only 41 points last season, only 37 this season. That's not great. Rasmus Kupari with 29. That's a big season from Rasmus Kupari. Probably his best with us. Yeah, his best since year number 1 with us, and he's a +9 as well. That's a huge season from Rasmus Kupari. I will gladly take that. Jeff Carter as well. Good season from Jeff Carter. 29 points, his most in 2 years. He barely played last year. So, actually, no, his most in like 3 or 4 years. This is 23, 24. This is year number 1. Wow, okay, so we will take that. Jonas Brodin with 25, he had +8, good, he did his job. Brad Lambert, rookie season, 24 points. That's not great, but he's not going to be a point guy. He's probably going to be a third-line guy for us, probably for most of his career, but that's okay. 21 points out of Michael Matheson definitely was an improvement over what Esa Lindell did with us a couple of years ago, so I'm actually liking what Michael Matheson brought to the table. I know that we wanted Seth Jones in this position, but honestly, Matheson is fine as a second-line defender. He's pretty good for a second-line defender anyways. Claude Giroux with us, he was 6 points in 9 games and -1. Okay, but 6 points in 9 games is nice. Logan Hutsko at 20 points in 78 games is good. Ville Heinola with 15 points +14 as well. Ville Heinola doing his thing. Too bad he's injured for the playoffs. I do not like to see that. Artemi Kniazev now with 7 points +7. Cale Fleury, and what little we saw of him, 3 points in 9 games +4. That's beautiful. And Gabriel Fortier played 6 games, pretty much all of them as a defender, and got a -1. Now, I'm interested to see Hellebuck's stats because they definitely fell off, but he had really good numbers at the start. So he goes 39, 22, and 5. That's huge. Gets 4 shutouts for us, and has a .914 save percentage with 2.87 goals against average. .914 definitely dropped. He was at a .920 at one point and averaging like 2.57 goals against average. He actually got an assist this year too, which is kind of funny. And then Jet Greaves, we picked him up at the trade deadline, 6-3-0, no shutouts, but .917, 2.55. Those are good numbers, really good numbers from Jet Greaves. So I'm happy with the Jet Greaves pickup. Let's look at the entire league now and see who leads it. It's Ovechkin with 110 points. This guy's an animal. He's the best simulating player in NHL history, maybe. That's crazy. 110 from Ovi, 108 from Strome, 105 from Point. We've never had, actually, no, I don't think we've ever had a 100-point scorer on this team. Kucherov with 102, Pettersson 100, Cale Makar with 100, Adam Fox with 98, McKinnon with 95. This is crazy stuff here. Zibanejad 93, McDavid 93. It's crazy that McDavid does not get like 120 points a season. That's nuts. Suzuki with 93. Kaprizov 92, Gaudreau 92, Matthews 91 with 56 goals. Good for him. Marner with 89, Hedman with 89, Draisaitl with 88. All these guys down here. Caulfield with 86, had Jarvis with 87 as well. Crazy stuff. Cool. Let's look at the defensemen, but we know who they are now. Defensemen, it's going to be Cale Makar up there. Then we have Adam Fox, Victor Hedman, Bowen Byram, Dougie Hamilton, Brennan Montour, Evan Bouchard, and then Josh Morrissey. So he's like tied for 7th or 8th or so. But this top Colorado line here with Bowen Byram and Cale Makar, they're the best line in the NHL for sure. The best defensive line in the NHL anyways. Now goalies, let's see. Connor Hellebuyck, did you do enough to get the Vezina? I would say yes. I would probably say yes. It's between you and Jesper Wallstedt, but I would probably say yes. You played 67 games. You only had 2 less wins than Igor Shesterkin. You had only 1 less shutout, but your numbers are significantly better. 914 save percentage, whereas Igor had 906. 2.87 goals against, whereas Igor had 2.92. So I think Hellebuyck might win it. It's between him and Jesper Wallstedt. He had 2 more wins than Jesper Wallstedt. His save percentage is only 1% less, and his goals against is pretty far down there, actually. Wallstedt might win it, to be honest. But who knows? Rookie skaters now, and we will see Alex Ranford, a medium elite player. He was drafted 2nd overall 2 years ago, and he's a sniper. He got 29 goals in his rookie season. That's pretty good. 58 points, good for him. Then we have Jordan Gavin, who was drafted in the same year as him 2 years ago. Playmaker, 16 points, 16 goals, 41 assists for 57 points. Nice. Carl Trigg was a 7th overall selection. Tomi Tervanen was a first-round pick last year. So the first-round pick last year gets 842 points this year. He's a playmaker. Okay, that explains why he only had 8 goals. Jordan Dumas, playmaker, drafted in the 3rd round by Columbus as a low elite playmaker. Wow. And he had 29 goals, or 21 points, excuse me. 25 points for Mettinen, Parasak with 25, Brad Lambert with us had 24, and then Philip Bystedt had 23. So decent rookies out there. Oh, but Wallstedt will probably win Rookie of the Year with 37 wins, 23 losses, and 4 overtime losses, 3 shutouts as well. He will probably win Rookie of the Year over, actually, dang, I did the wrong thing. Over this guy who was 58 points. 58, would you rather? This is a comment. This is a question for you guys to comment. Would you rather a 58-point rookie or a rookie goalie who gets you 37 wins and a 915 save percentage with 2.73 goals against average? I don't know. I don't actually know what the answer is. That's a real question. I think I'd rather the goalie. 37 wins is a lot of wins, especially for a rookie. That's a lot of wins. Wow. Interesting. But he has played in the NHL before, so like he's 24 years old. Like it's one of those where like he's not really a rookie, but he's just classified as rookie because he hasn't played enough games. And with goalies, it's weird. So either way, those are what the stats look like. And now it's time to find out who we are going to play in the playoffs. So let's see here. It is going to be the, drum roll please, the Minnesota. Of course it is. Of course it is. Here comes Joel Eriksson-Ek, who's going to put 30 in our net. Oh my gosh. All right, but we have to go take a look at their lines, I swear. Minnesota's going to beat us out in 4 games because I didn't trade for Joel Eriksson-Ek. That's just karma, right? Oh, man. That's nuts. I hope not, man. Minnesota here. Kirill Kaprizov, Joel Eriksson-Ek, and Matthew Boldy. So as much as we want to get Joel Eriksson-Ek, I mean, he's their first-line center. I get they have Marco Rossi behind him, but he's their first-line center. And he had, like, how many points did he have this year? He had 63 points. He had a career year for them, I think. Yeah, he had a career year for them, 63 points, playing alongside of Kaprizov. They wanted to make a playoff push as well, so it wouldn't really make sense for them to trade their only other good centerman other than Marco Rossi. Yeah, I understand why we wouldn't pick him up. So let's take a look at them one by one here. So Kaprizov, obviously incredible player, has definitely lit us up in the past. 92 points this year, craziness. Then Joel Eriksson-Ek, we know about him. And then Matthew Boldy. What did Boldy do? Boldy, 67 points, 22 goals. Okay, so a bit more of a playmaker, actually, despite being listed as a power forward, more of a playmaking power forward. Their second line, though, I'm not too impressed by. Tanner Pearson, Marco Rossi. Marco Rossi, a very good second line center. What did Rossi do? Rossi with only 48 points. Wow, despite being 88 overall and having 5-star puck skills. That's insane. Okay. But he's with Tarasenko, so these two might be able to connect for a lot of goals, Rossi and Tarasenko. Third line is pretty weak, actually. Marcus Foligno, Frederick Goudreau, Michael McLeod. That's pretty weak. And then their fourth line, they have Brock Faber on their fourth line, who's a defenseman, alongside of Beckman and Xavier Bugo. So not a good bottom six whatsoever. Defensively, Cam Fowler and Jared Spurgeon, it's okay, but it's not great. Carson Soucy and Eric Johnson's a bit weak for a second line. Good third line, but big weak for a second line. And then Dylan Sandberg, former Winnipeg Jet Dylan Sandberg, and Ilya Labushkin, that's a decent third line. So Their defense, they don't have that top end talent. They're lacking a little bit of depth, but it's suitable. It's like acceptable for sure. And then goaltending, they have rookie of the year potentially and potential Vezina winner Jesper Wallstedt. This is going to be a tough one here. And then okay, they do have some injuries though, which helps us out. They have Yanni Gourde injured and they have Mats Zuccarello injured. So that's why their team looks a little bit barren. So we throw in, let's see, throw in like Mats Zuccarello on the second line and put Goudreau down to the fourth line and put in, who is it? Yanni Gourde on their third line. That's much better. So with Zuccarello here and Yanni Gourde as their third line center, that line looks better. So definitely not a bad team at all. I will check the injury report and see when they are injured until, because that could actually be big. So let me check their injury report. So Yanni Gourde is returning May 2nd and Zuccarello May 14th. So it looks like Yanni Gourde will probably be back in the first couple of games, I would assume. May 2nd. Let's see. Yanni Gourde. Oh, wow. Maybe not, actually. This is crazy. Yanni Gourde, May 2nd, he's coming back. But he might be back a little bit earlier. So maybe he'll be back for Game 6. Maybe he'll be back for Game 5. But Mats Zuccarello was out this entire run, so that's good for us. So Yanni Gourde probably come back in Game 4 or maybe like Game 5 or 6. But Zuccarello probably out. Yeah, he's going to be out for the entire playoff run. So that's good for us. Well, maybe not their whole playoff run, but at least for the playoff run that we will be there. But that is going to be next time, as you guys know here. I hope you enjoyed this one, despite my voice being a little bit weird and me, not actually following what the comments suggested wholeheartedly as I usually do. I know it sucks really bad, and I'm very, very disappointed in myself for doing it, but I just put us in a bad cap place in free agency. I signed Malkin, which was, in hindsight, probably not the best thing to do. But as the GM, I have to make these executive decisions. And of course, if you have suggestions going into the playoffs, if you have lineup suggestions for me, you leave them down below. If you want to see Jet Greaves get some time, maybe he steals the net from Hellebuck for a few games because he played a really incredible regular season with us. So I'd be open to something like that. But let me know. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you did, have a great rest of the day. Give it a like, comment, and subscribe. But you already know what to do. You've been on YouTube for long enough, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Peace out.